forget the morning, but they can forget up to when they were hypnotised.
Yeah. So that
Any
could be
more, Hattie?
quite fun.
I'm sorry, I tried to be sneaky about it.
We're rolling.
Dice.
Camera.
Hello, and welcome to the BBEG Podcast. It is our season 2, where we cover the classes, and this is our final episode of season 2. And with this, we are covering Wizard.
Whoop, whoop.
Yes.
Wizzo.
Wizzos. As you may have noticed, I have done a host swap where I have gained M from Germany, and we have lost Will into the recordings.
I return home and he leaves.
It's just rude. It's just
Take
rude.
the hint, M.
You moved to Bristol. I took the hint.
Yeah, so we have got Will joining us remotely for this episode. Okay. Wizards.
Jinx, now you both can't talk for the rest of the episode. So, it's the Will show today.
Absolutely not.
As per usual.
We always kick off talking about like personal connections to every single class. Yes. We always have. Now, for me, my first ever campaign back in lockdown, I was an evocation wizard.
Ooh,
That's a brave choice to start off with, to go first D&D class wizard.
Okay.
That's a lot to learn.
Half choice, half not choice. So we did the Lost Mines of Phandelver starter set, where they come with pre-generated character sheets. So in that you had, I want to say it was 2 fighters, a rogue, a thief rogue, a cleric, and a wizard. And the character sheets covered you from levels 1 to 5, so it showed you all the steps, and as you were leveling up, and it already made the options for you. So the only thing I really had to worry about was choosing new spells if I wanted it. But it did also have a guide to say, well, you could pick these and whatnot. Anyone who knows me knows that when it comes to games like this, magic is my strength. And so as soon as Garen messaged us to be like, oh, we're going to play, I was like, wizard or I'm not involved.
Or bust.
Literally, every time we were in college, and me and Garen were like, are we going to Tesco? We would ask each other if we were going to Tesco. So we'd be like, to Quest? To Quest! And we knew exactly what we meant, because it was like a nice little 5 to 10 minute stroll down the hill.
The daily side quest, yeah.
Yeah, and we'd always chat like Lord of the Rings and stuff. And I've been obsessed with Gandalf since day one from Lord of the Rings. It's my favourite character. And that's kind of why I wanted to get into D&D, was so I could play a wizard. And I did it.
yes.
Look at his little smile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Callum is a wizard.
I was going to say, I don't have
Zodiac
any
campaign.
Oh, yes,
from,
he
like,
is.
the ones that I have seen when playing.
Yeah.
Most recently, Callum.
Did you have any wizards in your one whilst I was gone? I know you had a fair few magic users.
No,
We had a couple of bards, but you had no wizards or sorcerers.
No.
Fair.
We had no big magic users.
No.
I guess it depends on how you look at it, but yeah, fair.
Yeah. So yeah, this will be really interesting just to see everything, because I've never played one, nor have I looked in depth at one.
Yeah.
And I am also a magic fan.
Yeah.
So I think this will be really interesting, especially when I like see it all and I'm like, no, why didn't you choose this?
Doing the research for this episode, looking at the notes and stuff, on D&D Beyond it only gives you the evocation wizard.
Yeah.
And then I opened the PHP and I was like, so many pages on different schools,
like,
editions.
What is it? 8 schools altogether? And then...
And just the PHP.
Yeah, just the PHP. So the schools are basically your subclasses in this. And the school is a different domain of magic. And each, I'm going to say it, and I don't know what they are, but each school has a different colour for representation.
Ooh.
Because when you use the spell Detect Magic, you detect through colour. So it'll give off like an aura. So if it's green, it's a certain thing. I could not tell you what they are.
You beat me to the joke! Oh, wait, I thought you were going to make a colourblind joke.
Yeah, I'm going to blame my colourblindness for not knowing how to read. But yeah.
Okay.
Well, wizards in the party. The meme is wizards are squishy, and we're going to discuss why. So wizards role in the party. Wizards is squish. So where they fit into the party is they can be so diverse depending on what arcane tradition you pick.
No, wizards are squish. I just want wizards equal squish. Like that's what I need.
So when it comes in the party, what's our thinking there? Because it can be so diverse. How do you label it?
They can. Well, there's certainly not going to be a tank.
No.
The tanks are for your big boys, like your barbarians, your fighters, or your paladins.
Yeah.
So they can fit the investigative role,
Yes.
especially if you don't have a rogue. Because yes, the rogues do the sneaky side of things, but because wizards work off their intelligence, they are still very inquisitive and are great for searching and finding things. They can work really well for a blaster. So like back of the pack.
So more range than...
Oh, yeah.
When you think of it, spells. And spells tend to pack a punch.
Yeah.
So you're at the back of the group. I mean, I had a great time when I was a wizard. We were in a cave and I got to cast Burning Hands on a whole line of goblins and took them all out in one go. And I think that was like 4 goblins within my cone, like the 15-foot cone that I had for Burning Hands. So when you think of it as a level 1 spell and can do, I want to say it's 3d6 damage, and I managed to get like almost max. So we'd already fought them a little bit, but I finished them off with 1 spell. That's why they're great blasters. You can cover multiple enemies in 1 hit and take a fair amount of damage off them.
Yeah, and it's also, so we're going to get onto like the level up scaling later, but I will say in my notes, I just put, I'm not going to say what level we skip, but I just went, then we skip to level 18 because every level the wizard doesn't gain something from the arcane tradition, they get a butt ton of magic. So you can build so much with your wizard. They can be a blaster, a defender, a controller.
Oh, really good controllers. Yeah. Again, having that access to magic that can manipulate people or scenarios on the battlefield. You know?
Yeah.
You could say they're a secondary like supporter because you can get buff spells that they can use. I just wouldn't say, I say secondary because a cleric or other classes might get more options.
Yeah.
Also, it depends on maybe the subclass or the school of magic you pick. Whereas I think we said it, the one where you get the warding stuff, that would be great for...
Built for it.
Yeah. But that's a specific one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So moving on, now that we have decided that they are where they fit in terms of party, if you were looking at creating a party and you needed to know where it's slotted in, now you know. If you were creating a wizard yourself, what did you start with when you created your wizard? What was the race? What was the thinking behind it?
I mean, with the pre-made character sheet, it was all there for me.
Yes.
So obviously that's working from the PHB and everything that D&D or Wizards of the Coast give you as a guide. However, we did like a mini side campaign at one point, and I still went for a wizard. I just tried a different school.
Yes.
So I took the blade singing school.
Yes.
And still, I found I was looking down the elf route just because of everyone associates the elf race with magic, let's be honest. But when it comes to building your wizard as a general, PHB will always tell you to pick intelligence as your highest stat modifier.
Because that is where your magic comes from.
Yeah, exactly. Now, it does say your second should either be constitution or dexterity.
Yeah.
And for 2 very different reasons. Like you just said, constitution, because you're squishy.
Yeah.
And if you have a decent constitution modifier, every time you level up and you roll your health, you're getting a bonus onto your HP, which is very handy when you literally have the lowest health dice out of the entire game.
Yeah.
Whereas Dex is like, can you avoid the attacks?
Yeah,
no, exactly. So I guess it depends on how you want to look at it. Do you want to look at let's boost me taking the damage, or
Yes.
do I want to boost myself trying to avoid the damage in the first place?
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things, because with Dex as well, we'll get onto the proficiencies in a second, but it seems to be a lot of dexterous weapons you're proficient in. So that's, if you do happen to be in melee range, you're going to want some extra Dex.
Exactly, because you only get the simple weapons like you just said. So that's like a short sword, a dagger. You don't get fancy stuff, and you don't want to be screwed if you are in a situation where you are up close and personal with someone.
Yeah.
Because some spells cannot work if they are within 5 feet of range.
Yeah, if they're melee, you need a backup just in case, because you're gonna get, like, let's face it, you're gonna be grappled, you're gonna be held, you're gonna be captured at some point. It's D&D. Come on. Like, if you don't have things to defend yourself, then you are major squish, and you will become major squish.
Think of it in terms of Fireball is a great cantrip. We always talk about it. It's a D10.
Yep.
A free spell that you can cast whenever you want. It doesn't cost anything. But it's 120 foot range, so as soon as that person's within 5 feet of you, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Shocking Grasp is a melee-based cantrip. Okay, it's still a cantrip, and sometimes you might want a sword, but it's a 1d8.
Yeah.
Whereas a short sword is a 1d6 plus whatever your dexterity is. So I guess it depends on what you want to look at and go, do I just want to try and roll a bigger dice?
Yeah.
Or do I want to roll a smaller dice and know that I'm going to get a plus whatever?
That guarantees mod
on top. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's also situational.
Yeah.
They wear a metal armor and you've got Shocking Grasp, which is electricity.
It's an advantage, isn't it?
I mean, as a DM, I would run it as you're running electricity through a current, a conductor. They're going to cook a little bit.
I think it is
extra damage.
Yeah.
There is something to do with advantage or extra damage, because I did it in the finale of the campaign I was running, where Hattie, Jerry nearly died. I killed Jerry, and people revived him, so he lived. Okay. But I was like, I'm going to target Jerry because he's wearing metal armor, and there's definitely something.
His wife.
And everyone else will tell you about his wife as well. But yeah, he was wearing metal armor, so I targeted him because there's an advantage somewhere, whether it is. So situational.
Even if it's not written down, I think as a DM you'd go metal and electricity don't mix.
There is two ways to spin that, though, as a DM. It depends if you are for or against the character who is going to have electricity conducted on them.
Yeah.
Because it could be the armour has worked as a Faraday cage and has taken the brunt of it. So it just literally, they're stood on Earth, so it just like bing, ding, 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 and dissipates. Or it goes inside and just absolutely like fries the living shit out of them.
I would just think if your flesh is touching metal armour,
you're screwed immediately.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I pulled up here. It's advantage on the attack roll.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So that's what you do for your mods. Mm-hmm. Now you look at things like races. Like I said, the typical race you get told is the elf, and more specifically the high elf, because every elf race gets a +2 in dexterity.
Yep.
And then depending on the elf race you picked, which for this high elf, you get a +1 in intelligence. Like a wood elf gets a +1 in wisdom.
Yep.
What I like about the high elf is you also get a free extra cantrip just for being a high elf. So if you are a wizard, you only get so many cantrips to start off with, and you just get a freebie. Why not at level 1?
But then if you're going to build like a max intelligence, the gnomes get +2 to intelligence.
Yeah, they do.
And then if you want that dex boost, the forest gnomes get +1 to dex as well.
Yeah. Nice. And is it the rock gnomes get a +1 to con?
Rock gnomes get +1 to con. Yeah.
Also, others to like have a quick look at. Fire genasi get a +1 to intelligence and a +2 to con.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then for something a little bit different, because there was something that said you can also substitute the con and dex and make charisma your second highest.
Ooh, okay.
Which I found interesting. Now it works for a specific thing. It's if you're considering picking the School of Enchantment, you might want to consider your charisma as your second highest stat. So a race that would work well for that is a tiefling, because you get a +1 intelligence and a +2 for charisma.
We love tieflings on this channel.
We do indeed.
If you want to go...
Another one.
Yeah, go for it.
Variant humans, you get to choose +2 on literally anything you want. So if you want to...
Yeah, you get a +2 and a +1. Wait,
yep.
You want to go?
So you could do +2 intelligence or con or dex or anything else and a +1 to intelligence or +con or whatever. But it then gives you a bit of complete variancy. You can choose whatever you want rather than having
play with it more.
Rely on the race. Yeah.
I mean, humans give you complete variety because you get a +1 on everything.
Yeah.
So it's not that bad, especially if you want to try and be a bit more versatile in all areas as a squishy character.
Which is why I think I didn't realise variant humans were a thing until Will's campaign. But they're basically human +2. And instead of getting a +1 on everything, you get a +2 on specific. You choose them, but they're then 2 specific things. So that would work.
There was one more race from a book I've never heard of before researching this. From the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, the Vedelken gets +2 to intelligence and +1 to wisdom, so you can just be the smartest person in the room. But everything else I looked at, everything that gets +2 to intelligence is a gnome of some kind.
Yes.
That's the only one I could see outside of the PHB or D&D Beyond.
Yeah.
+3 to int. It looks like James Cameron's The Avatar. I'm
on board.
Like an alien.
Okay.
I'm with you. Yes. Thank you.
Intelligence doesn't get a lot of love, apparently.
No.
Do you think people
they're nerds.
where their magic is?
What?
Where the intelligence is, do you think that people forget that that's where their magic is? And so therefore kind of ignore it? Or is it...
Well, no, because every magic user has a different source of magic.
Yeah.
Yep. It's just,
I think
for everything, I've put Google. I've just Googled every time I've built anything with magic. Google, what is the ability score mod for... Okay. So I think it's easy to forget and easy to confuse, but quick Google sorts it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also, if you think of the classes that are made directly for, you got a wizard. Mm-hmm. You do have a rogue because you want to have good investigation as a rogue and that sort of thing. Otherwise, what you're trying to, you're not going to find what you need to steal. And outside of the PHB, you have an artificer, which is basically a wizard who can create mechanical beings that help fight with you.
Yes, yeah.
But they are essentially born from the wizarding world. So it's kind of carried over and just gone, oh, you are not only a wizard, you are a mechanic.
Yep.
Yes, okay. A tinker.
Yeah.
They'll come round, they'll come to fix your Warforged, be like, oh, Mike, gonna have to order in a part for this. Gonna cost you another 300 gold.
Yeah.
It's failed, it's MOT.
What do you mean ordering? Can't you just conjure it? Wrong score.
Nah, mate.
Incorrect.
Outside my jurisdiction. Then we got backgrounds.
Yes.
So the PHB tells us that we should pick the Sage background. As you gain proficiency in Arcana and History, alongside you get to pick 2 languages. Always handy.
And the whole thing with the Sage background is you were a bookworm, which is why they say it, because it caters to, this is the stereotypical wizard. You are the bookworm, you are a Sage.
Exactly. However, if you want to look at some different background options, both me and Will have a few different varieties for you.
Do we?
So I've got one.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So I've got one called the Haunted One, where you can pick proficiencies out of. So you get 2 proficiencies and you get to pick the ones that you want. And it's out of Arcana, Investigation, Religion, or Survival.
Okay.
And then again, you get 2 languages. I just think, do you know what? Considering you get to pick them, I would probably pick Survival as the squishy wizard, just because when it comes to your saving throws, or any situation where it's like, please roll me a survival check, I'm like, okay. And then Arcana or Investigation to boost my searching. And then I've also got a Guild Artisan. Now, this is something if you want a bit more of variety. Mm-hmm. So Guild Artisan, where you can gain proficiencies in Insight, so being able to see if someone's lying to you or not, or Persuasion. and persuasion even, along with you get the access to one type of artisan tools, which could be something like alchemist supplies, cartographer tools, or tinker's tools. So to make things, there's a long list. I was very much like, oh, are the thieving tools on there? They're not classed as artisan tools, so I was a bit gutted. But like cartographer, if you need someone who could draw a map. Just from hearing it.
They're all very smart tools. That is something they could have learned in their study. They could just picked up, I've learned about geography, so now I'm good with cartographer. Good. That's a good one. I like that.
And then you had two others.
Yes, I had Hermit, because massive nerd, locked away in their study. And then the way this whole series have been like, I'm already thinking of backstories. Hermit, they've longed for knowledge, they've longed for thing. Maybe they're going through their school, their tradition, the arcane tradition, and they go, hey, now go to the outside world and do stuff. And it's like, shit. Now I've got to actually see people. But the way I've said, they've locked away in the study, they gain the medicine and religion proficiencies, which is just kind of, more things they would learn going through the books. And so indicates a knowledge a lot more than just magic intelligence, but they still get one language. So it's like they're learning lots of different bits, which relates to the one you just said, Em. Is learning lots of different bits. And then thinking backstory, I've got the noble background. Maybe they were the right hand to a leader of the city. They get history and persuasion checks, and maybe that relates to their standing in society. That's why they have proficiency and persuasion. And then, again, still get one language. So there's a lot of... I'm thinking in backgrounds and backstories.
No, I get you. Especially because I think most people hear noble and go, oh, it's probably going to be like a soldier. But it still works for a wizard because if we look at magic in a class system, there's a lot of animes, cartoons, or, RPG systems where like magic is technically for the rich and the powerful or from a noble bloodline. Like you look at Black Clover, the idea to have magic is your magic is more powerful if you have come from a line of nobility.
Yes.
And then they're shocked when commoners have magic that is beyond what they reckon is their capability.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, you shouldn't have this because you're just a commoner. Like I'm a pure nobility.
But it makes a lot of sense when you think about, like, wizards derive their magic from spell books. They need their spell books, and the ability to read was a fairly high-born ability. You got taught, and if you did not know how to read, then you were poor, basically. So it just kind of stems from, like, if you want to make it historical and get into the, like, historical nerd of it, you can only be a wizard if you know how to read.
You have to work hard and taught yourself to read.
Because even if you think, like, Knights of the Round Table... And Merlin was there. Of the D&D film, there was the Hugh Grant's character and the Red Wizard. Or was a sorcerer. But either way, right hand to a noble.
Yeah. And then it also makes sense. And then you've got sorcerer as the counterpart because it's innate talent.
Yeah.
So anyone can have it. Whereas the nobles will be like, well, we're gifted with this.
Yeah.
And we've studied and we've done this because we are able to, because we have the money. You're just lucky that you've got an ounce of magic.
That's it.
If you're wanting to play it this way, it does fit really well because you're going to a school. You have to go to you have to pay private school. It's private school. It's private. You have to pay money to go to this school to learn this magic. You have to.
I was going to say something, but as of recording, we have just had a general election in the UK.
I was about to say that Wizards are Tories.
Wizards are Tories.
Wizards are Tories. You had it here first. Yeah. This is the Eton. This is Eton for
the Eton class.
That's hilarious.
It is. If you can't read, you ain't going.
That's so good.
They don't want you if you can't afford the school bills. So here we are. There's no scholarship where they're going.
That's so good.
Anyway.
That basically covers your creation of a wizard.
Yeah.
Things to look at, what the PHP recommends. Now let's talk features.
Yes.
So I think one we've really nailed on the head here is your hit dice is a D6.
Yes.
Now, it's the same as the sorcerer, so you're not the only one in that category, but it is the lowest health barrier of the entire game.
Yes. You are squish.
But
Wizards, it's squish.
Pack a powerful punch.
Yes.
Now, when we look at things like your spell book
Mm-hmm.
and what you get with your magic, so you have a spell book at level 1, and this is where your magic not comes from, but whereas sorcerers are innate and it's within them,
Yes.
you have studied spells and symbols and whatnot to be able to cast this magic.
Yeah.
So the spell book is your ability to learn spells.
Yes.
And how you can prepare a select few for the day.
Yeah.
So you will have maybe 20 spells in your book.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very wide example. But you might only have access to so many during the day.
Yes.
So you get to pick what you want for that day. And if I remember, it works to...
It's that is where your magic is based. So if you don't have your book, you can't cast the spells.
Yeah.
So it's like preparing for a test.
There's a lot of things.
Memorize
that's exactly it. There's a lot of things where, as we get to these subclasses and the arcane traditions, it's like your spellbook must be within 5 feet of you.
Yeah.
Yes, that was what. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of if ever you are watching a film, TV or whatever inspired by D&D, there's an awful lot of the wizard has been captured and when they rescue it or them, it's great. However, the spellbook is not with them. So the only thing they can do is punch things.
Yeah.
Because they don't, if they don't have any weapons or the spell book, there's not a lot of spells. It has to be with you.
Yeah.
And the spells that you need for the day have to be memorized.
Yeah.
So you have the book with you just in case you need to refer, but it's all...
So I found that section.
Yes.
And it was... So at level 1, you get 6 spells. First level spells.
Okay.
For your book.
Okay.
Yes.
However, how many you can pick for the day is different.
Mm-hmm.
So as you get to pick the amount that is your wizard level plus your intelligence modifier. So if you're a level 1, if you're a level 1 wizard, and let's say you've got a +4 modifier, you can only pick 5 spells to have prepared for that day out of the 6 that are in your book.
Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that bit.
Yeah. So that's how they work. So basically, they would have spent the night memorizing those exact spells for the next day. Obviously, you can change this every long rest.
Yep.
So that's not for the rest of the game. It's just I'm going to swap this out. And then that keeps increasing. So then obviously level 2, you have 7 spells because it's 6, 2 plus 4. However, it doesn't matter the spell slot in terms of at level 3, though you have, I want to say I've got it all written down here. So at level 3, you have 4 first level spell slots and 2 second level spell slots.
Yep.
But if you are a level 3 wizard with a +4 intelligence, you have 7 spells to pick.
Prepared.
To have prepared. It does not matter how many you have in terms of the spell slots. So say you had 4 level 2s and 6 level 1 spells to pick from. Though you've only got 2 level 2 spell slots, you might still pick 3 level 2 spells to have at the ready.
Okay.
That's good. That's handy.
But you just need to remember, once the spell slots are gone, they're gone.
Yeah.
So
how you use those particular spells, even though there's more spells than slots, you need to just kind of...
But you've got the option to go, actually, this is what I need right now.
Yeah.
Done. So it just works that way.
Yeah. Okay.
You have this whole thing about copying spells into your book as you are on an adventure. If you find a spell scroll or a tomb elsewhere, a tome even, you can copy a spell from a book or a scroll into your own. So you can still learn without it going against your spells that you know.
Yeah.
When you level up, you get more spells. You have found something. It costs time and some money to transfer because the money represents what would be the material components of trying it. Because essentially, as you are copying it, you are practicing it a few times to try and get it exact, is what they say.
I did wonder what the gold payment was about.
Yeah. Because I was it's not really, it's just you pay this. And I'm but if I copy it, if I'm literally sat down.
How much is a bloody quill?
Yeah, am I just like popping to the shops to go and get like a fresh bit of parchment? No, I'm in the wood.
Yeah, it's to cover the materials that you might have needed.
Yeah.
Once you try and figure it all out, and then the same works with if you want to make a secondary spell book.
Oh, okay.
So you can write a secondary backup. So if your first one gets damaged, because that's the thing, and most people don't think of this. If a DM really wanted to be evil,
a dickhead.
You get another magic user to take a shot at your spell book or steal someone's spell book from them. They now can't cast those spells because it's either damaged or they don't have it within their vicinity. But if you've got a backup, you can at least go back to that book. Now, you can then only take the spells that you have backed up.
Yes.
So if you haven't backed up certain spells, you've lost them.
Yep.
Like this is a hard drive, guys.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's
always leave the Word document.
Yeah.
Actually, on the subject that, and I remember in the fighter episode we discussed, like, there's always an arc where you start with nothing and you're locked in a prison. Imagine how funny it would be if the guards come and take your spell book and go, haha, pocket spell book. I've got 3 spells.
Yeah. But exactly, because it says the spell books can be anything. It could be like an heirloom that's been given to you, like an old journal of a family, or your master that you were working under training gave you like just a leather bound thing, or it could literally be scraps of paper that you have just bound together.
Yeah.
Hey, J.K. wrote Harry Potter on napkins.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like for a story thing, if you are bringing elements of your character to the table you're playing at, having your notes be kind of part of your notebook, represent your wizard's spell book. Having scraps of paper where you're like, I've just come from work, so I'm just gonna like can I grab some printer paper and then just like clip it all together later would work. The same way turning up with a leather bound, like full on like. Was it tomb of like everything grimoire?
So as a blade singer, because blade singer is like the opposite of an arcane knight, where you are a wizard user who gets some like fighting proficiencies. If I remember correctly, you get like simple leather armor. If I was me as a blade singer, I'd be backing up my spells on the leather, so then I'm wearing. Because then I am literally walking around as my spell book, as my backup, or even like my main one. So it's always going to be on me, and they literally have to take it off me or like destroy my armor for the spells. You might lose a spell or two if it gets slashed or whatnot, but again, if you still got a backup, you got a backup. But your main sort of.
So, do you know if you choose like languages, can you write in that language as well?
Being able to read and speak language, I would say
Because if you were to take Elvish, for example, just write it in Elvish, and then the guards might not be able to read it. They don't know what the fuck that is. So they wouldn't think to take it off you.
Colours.
But you do it in the right way, like you do it around like the cuffs and like as if it's like a design, and then you like
tattoos.
Where's my fireball? Where's my fireball?
You can also have it tattooed on you.
Get the runes on you.
That was Tyler's.
This is what I was trying to remember. You said on you, and I was like, hold on a second. I've been here before.
Tyler in that campaign had all of his spells like tattooed on him, and
they glowed when he used them.
Yeah. And that's right. We were like long robes, so no one could ever see it. And it wasn't until like the last fight did they actually start to see.
No. It wasn't until the last fight when he betrayed us that you described him. You described him like being like chiseled and tattooed. Georgia and I were like, "Oh, who is this?" And
his backstory was tragic. Though. Like the tattoos were not his choice.
They were not his choice.
No, so right. Tyler, sue me if I get this wrong. It's over a year ago, this campaign. But Tyler's mother died, as in...
character.
Sorry, his character was called Perry. His mother died, and the father was beside himself and couldn't handle it, and was basically trying to find a way to bring her back. And in doing so, was practicing magic, but practicing it on Perry. And to do so, he was tattooing Perry with different spells, almost as if like a
to imbue him with them,
like an arcane focus, like to channel it through him. So it wasn't just the fact that he had these tattoos. They were also like scars in that sense.
Yeah.
But that's where his magic also came from, because he then studied what was on his own body, because he was a wizard. So like me and Tyler had this conversation. He's like, mate, if you slash me like on my arm in a certain way and it cuts through, I can't use that spell.
Yeah.
And I was like, we will have a table for when things are like, well, as in, it was a case of, you got to be realistic.
Yeah.
So it was critical moments. Yes. So in that moment, I just had a little table to be like, it slashed your arm across here, and I would describe it. And if he was like, oh, that's one of my tattoos. Essentially, he would have to spend time topping it back up to fix it. So it wouldn't be gone forever. But
the gold would be a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
So that is the wizard spell book and how to back it up.
Yeah.
But also at level 1, this is just a really quick one. Arcane recovery. After short rest, you can choose to expend spell slots to recover, equal to half your wizard level rounded up. So, like I say, wizards get tons and tons of spells. If you need the extra top of HP after a short rest, cos squish, just throw one away. Just waste one, burn one.
Yeah. 2 free spell slots at level 1 is not bad.
No.
Yeah.
Especially when they are your main sort of weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the way that this character has been designed and is quite good in terms of like, here is you have access to so many spells whatsoever. The caveat of that is you can only memorize this many, and this is how many spell slots you have. So like, that's how to stop it. But you have the potential to know all of these, which I think is really nice, because we've seen other classes where they don't really give you an awful lot and you feel like you're being cheated, whereas this one feels like they're giving you everything, but you have to earn it.
Yeah, there is that. Typically, you get
warlocks, you only have 2 spell slots, but you have Eldritch Blast, so deal with it. You have Eldritch Blast, okay?
Exactly. Just quickly, you also get your cantrips at level 1, because they're your basic, like, fire when ready, whenever you want. And I think that's it for level 1, really.
And it is. Yes. We spent so long on level 1.
Right. Level 2 is your arcane tradition. This is basically where you pick your subclass. This is where you pick the school of magic you want to specialize in.
Okay.
And we will take you through all of them in just a bit. But essentially, during that, you'll get some features at level 6, 10, 14.
And then we go straight to level 4. As per standard, you get your ability score or feat.
So there is an optional feature now at level 3. It's not originally in the PHB, but it has been added into the core.
Interesting.
It's like Tash's Cauldron and all that stuff. So it's called cantrip formulas. Essentially, during I want to say it's a long rest, you can look through your spell book that you can use to formulate a cantrip in your mind. Whenever you finish a long rest and consult those formulas in your spell book, you can replace a wizard cantrip from your list with another cantrip that you don't have.
Oh, interesting.
So basically, it's just a swap in, swap out situation.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. That's good.
If you think it's
handy. Because there's so many cantrips you could learn and you just don't use. It's like, when I play Baldur's Gate 3, if I level up and I've not used it for like the entire level, I'm like, just get rid of it and replace it with something.
And because you can do it at a long rest, if you are en route for a set mission, and you want to sort of try and prepare your cantrips as best as possible, be like, I need some damage stuff, but I also need some stuff that's going to help with situational, like mirror image or illusion magic and whatnot, you know.
Yeah.
You might want to reshape your list to fit that better.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
But but as you were saying, level 4. Yeah,
you get level 4, you get your ability score and or feat. But then this is where I put then we skip to level 18.
18.
Level 4 and level 18, that's when you get like your arcane tradition bonuses and features. But then every other level, you don't get an arcane tradition, you just get spells. You just get so many spells.
You also get your ability score improvement at like 8, 12.
Yeah, level 8. Yeah. All the normal stuff.
Not that they count, but like...
what seems like not a lot of features for a wizard,
Yeah.
you get spell slots as you
Yeah.
level up.
Okay.
So you are getting the opportunity to use more spells more
Yeah.
frequently,
Yes.
which people need to remember. That is essentially a feature, and it's
Yes.
a big feature for the wizard.
Yeah.
So not your prepared spells, just how many you can have in your spell book,
Yeah.
but not the ones you can use on the day-to-day basis.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then 18.
But then 18.
4 to 18. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
no. Oh, yeah, fine, yeah.
So that's spell mastery, which at level 18, you've achieved such mastery over certain spells that you can cast them at will. So you get to choose a first level spell and a second level spell from your spell book, and you can cast these spells at their lowest level
Okay.
spell slot without expending a spell slot. So Burning Hands, his lowest level is a level 1.
So a cantrip.
You essentially get a cantrip. You essentially get a level 2 cantrip.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there is no limit.
The limit does not exist.
Oh, a level
Yeah.
1 and a level 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like Burning Hands is level 1,
Uh-huh.
so I could cast that at will
Yeah.
with it never costing a thing.
Okay.
Which means I could also have another prepared spell essentially
Yes.
for a
Yeah.
different situation. And same with level 2.
But if you're going to cast it at higher levels,
18,
mm,
then
yeah.
you're going to expend
Yeah,
So
you
if
have
I
to expend
decided,
spell slot.
if I decided to cast Burning Hands at a level 2, it'd be a spell slot.
Yeah.
But it's just the basic. But still,
Yeah.
that's
three
two
spells,
cantrips.
unlimited.
Power.
Yeah.
Okay. Helpful. Annoying
Yeah.
that it's level... I mean, you have to reach level 18 to get it, which is... I don't know. I like the fact that it's like an achievable goal, but it's
Yeah.
also like, I don't know anyone who's got to level 18. So,
Yeah. But
That
that's just
is-
how you do campaigns and whatnot.
yeah,
But
true.
It's
Also,
as we
you
discussed
can
and pretty much.
Sorry?
I said you can change the spells round. So just
Yeah.
because
Oh,
you
yeah,
picked
yeah.
those two set spells, you just spend 8 hours, a long rest,
Yeah.
and you can swap them to something else.
It's like we say for every class, you got to look at like the higher levels because you're not going to reach level 20 most likely. But speaking of level 20, yeah,
Yeah, go for it. No, I was just going to say, I'd be having Shield as my first level spell because I'd be like, nope,
Shield.
nope.
Level 20, you choose 2 third level spells to have prepared forever. They don't take up prepared spell slots, and you can cast each one of them once without expending a spell slot. So you get 2 level 3 cantrips.
Yeah. However,
You get-
they are limited to one
Once.
per short rest.
Yes.
So you can short or long rest it and get that one back.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so this... Yeah, the two of those together works in quite
Yeah.
nice...
Yeah.
Nice tandem.
Overall, you get 4 extra free spells. 2 of them have a limit. 2 of them don't.
Yeah.
So it's essentially looking at when you compare it to Monk and Sorcerer, where you get 4 points to spend. This is, you get unlimited spells. Free spells. Much better than Monk with your 4 key points.
Right?
Oh, sorry. It just reminded me of when you like go to the market and someone's trying to offer you things. It's just like now all I can picture is free spells! Free spells! Free spells!
1 pound spells.
But that is it for features.
Done.
Overall. Now, the reason why we are done for features is because, as mentioned,
Oh my goodness.
you get spell slots almost every other level.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on the school of magic you have chosen, which is your arcane tradition, which is your subclass, you get stuff that way. So we're going to talk you through every single subclass from PHB to the Xanathar's Guide, Tasha's Cauldron, and even Explorers of the Wildmount.
Yep.
But we're going to give you like quick summaries with a hint of what they do. Because if we literally broke down every single feature,
We'd
we're
be
going
here
to
forever.
Like they say, there's 8 in the PHB alone. So
yeah.
I will say
didn't
just
count them. It's
Yeah.
like terms and
Yeah.
conditions over
It
here.
is. So,
it's just a blanket thing. At level 2, whatever arcane tradition you choose, whenever you're learning a spell of that tradition for like evocation or anything like that, it costs half the time and half the gold. That is for every single one.
yeah.
So
when you're looking at your spell,
Level 2.
it will tell you what the school is.
Yep.
And then you would know, oh, that's going to cost me less time.
Nice.
Done. So arcane traditions. Will, do you want to kick us off with abjuration?
Yes, sir. So abjuration, and all the definitions here have been taken straight from the PHP, cut down. Abjuration emphasizes magic that blocks, banishes, or protects. You understand that ending harmful effects, protecting the weak, and banishing evil influences. Banishing evil influences is anything but a philosophical void. You are doing the right thing for the right people as best you can. That is what this magic bolsters.
So you master warding magic, which can be used to protect you, allies, negate spells, and even create traps.
Ooh.
Like as a like, it is a fun class. I think any subclass when it comes to wizard is not to be sneered at as, oh, this one's better, this one's weaker. They all just do such different things, so it really depends on the vibe that you want.
Yeah,
this is like more varied than druid. It's that kind of.
Yeah,
I thought druid was varied. There is so much a wizard can do, and So the two highlights for the abjuration is, like Em just said, you can create a ward, and what that ward can do is essentially take a hit for you whenever you cast an abjuration spell. So your abjuration tradition, at first level or higher, you create a ward to take damage for you. Its HP is equal to 2 times your wizard level plus intelligence modifier. So at level 2, it will be 2 plus your 4 intelligence, so you can have 6 HP.
But double. So 12.
Doubled, yeah. 2 times
HP
your wizard
is
level.
equal to 2 times your wizard level. Is that... So would that be 8?
Be 8.
Okay.
So it'd be 8.
Still.
Which essentially,
Not bad.
at that lower level, that could be 2 hits. And it's going to go defense, boop, defense. But then at level 6, you can project that ward to protect a companion within 30 feet of you. So you can essentially shield. The only risk here that I thought was 30 feet is in a range for a lot of things. So in the grand scheme of things, if your spells have a 120-foot range, you can't project your ward to get in the middle of the fight. So you're going to have to be close combat for this.
Yeah.
Close
But then also,
combat.
you're also going to have situations where you're in a room or like a cave where you don't have that much room.
Yes.
So then at least then you can protect yourself and others around you. Whereas, if you're on a battlefield, you don't need it as much.
Yeah, exactly.
But
there's going to be other people to cover you.
You're not always on an open field having a fight.
Yep. Yes. Those are 2 highlights from it's all about protection, and those 2 show that off the best. Who wants conjuration?
Okay, so in conjuration, you are a conjurer and you favour spells that produce objects and creatures out of thin air.
Yep.
Your mastery of summoning and creation magic even allows you to transport items or creatures, so allies, across distances, even to other planes of existence.
Okay.
So mentioning the transportation, at level 6 you get benign transportation, so you can teleport up to 30 feet using your action, or swap places with a willing creature up to 30 feet. So I could either teleport myself, or I could look at one of you guys and let's do a quick swap.
Which is perfect. If you get stuck in the middle of melee, you just go, fire, you want in on this? Boop, swap with the fighter, and then you're out.
Yeah.
That's so helpful.
Right? And put it this way. So that's a feature. So I'm going to quickly use this. I don't know if it goes down as an action.
Yeah, you could teleport 30 feet using your action or swap places.
Oh, yeah. Using your action or swap places. Yeah. But still, you get a melee fighter in and you out, and then you're ready to back them up straight after.
Yep.
Like, can it be used as a bonus action, or is it literally just an action?
Using your action.
Yeah.
Okay. I even read it.
There's an interesting caveat on this one, though. So you can only use this feature again after a long rest, or until you cast another conjuration spell. Which, if this is your whole thing, you spend your first action doing that, your second action doing a spell, your third action you can teleport again. Yeah. So you can be in and out of the battle.
But then think of it, if you're fighting and you use Burning Hands, Burning Hands is an evocation spell, if I've got this correct. But you can summon things. So you might summon a spirit or an animal, and that is conjuration.
Accio Firebolt.
Right? And then, so you conjure that, and they're going to fight for you as well. So not only have you now just added an extra ally into the equation to fight for you, you've now just allowed yourself the chance to teleport maybe a bit further or a bit closer in, however you want to do it.
I mean, what if is there any conjuration bonus spells that can be used as a bonus action? Bonus action, conjuration, spell. That's technically a spell. Action, dip. You can do it both in the same time. I can't think of any right now.
I will bring up my spell book.
So while you are looking at your spell book, at level 14, as we've mentioned, you can create things out of thin air. While Em's looking that up, any creature or summon that you spawn into the fight has 30 hit points, which is a lot no matter what. No matter what level you are, that's going to take at least a couple of hits, even at higher levels.
30 hit points.
30 hit points, which, considering you're a wizard at level 14, you probably only have 30 hit points yourself.
That's what I mean. This is like the druid's wild shape, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you can just use them as your shield, wait for the BBEG to absolutely smack down those hit points, and then you step back in.
Well, it's not exactly like Wild Shape, because Wild Shape it is your second health bar. If the BBEG doesn't want to target your ward, your summon,
that's true.
I'm sure it's one of your favourite spells.
Okay.
Is a conjuration spell. Ice Knife.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Ice Knife.
You conjure like an icicle, send it shooting towards someone, hit or miss, it explodes and does damage to everything 5 feet around that target. That's a conjuration spell. And then I can teleport again.
What is Ice Knife a bonus action? That's what I was asking. Is there a bonus action spell that's a conjuration spell?
Action.
Ice Knife isn't, I don't think.
It's an action spell, so yeah.
It's an action spell.
Like shit like Misty Step, that is a bonus action.
Oh, that is. Yeah.
There are 13 spells that are...
Do wizards get... I was going to say Ice Knife. Misty Step.
Misty Step is, so you're right there. Fast Step, which is basically a bigger version of Misty Step.
Misty Step's older brother. Fast Step.
Blade of Disaster at level 9.
My life.
You create a blade-shaped planar rift about 3 feet long in an unoccupied space you can see within range. The blade lasts for the duration. When you cast a spell, you can make up to 2 melee spell attacks with the blade.
Oh.
Decent.
Each one against a creature, loose object, or structure within 5 feet. On a hit, the target takes 4d12 force damage.
Bloody hell.
What?
There's your melee fighter. Eat your heart out, barbarian.
This attack scores a critical hit if the number on the d20 is 18 or higher.
I don't know why you're looking at me. I'm never...
Holy crap, what's that? That's a level 14 fighter ability or something like that, isn't it?
So that becomes an 8d12 of force damage.
That's mad.
No, on a critical, the blade deals an extra 8d12 force damage for a total of 12d12 as a bonus action.
That's better than Fighters Improved Critical. That's crazy.
Level 9 spell. That's why it's a level 9 spell. So you got to be up there on your level ranking. But still.
Yes, that is your conjuration wizard. Hattie, divination. Tell us about your Trelawney's.
Oh, yes. Look into your inner eye to see the future.
Read the tea leaves.
Read the tea leaves.
The Grim.
It's the Grim. Sought by royalty and commoners alike, for all who seek a clearer understanding of the past, present, and future. You work to master spells of discernment, remote viewing, supernatural knowledge, and foresight. So I think this covers things like scrying and basically, if you've seen Harry Potter, all of that stuff. Level 2, yes, you have potent. Potent?
Yeah, potent.
Got that to read, sorry. After a long rest, you can roll 2 d20s and record the numbers rolled. You can then replace a roll for any attack roll, saving throw, or ability check made by you or a creature you can see with one of these rolls. You can only replace a roll once per turn. You lose any unused foresight dice. I love this. I love this because I roll poorly. So I would be rolling in the background, saving up those ones, and then being like, that one.
The thing is, the bit I forgot to write down is I think it has to be before you roll the dice. So you can't change a dice roll, but it can be like, if like you want to do a backflip onto a roof. I've rolled.
Every so often you had to roll a dice and just make a note of it, and then.
So after you finish a long rest, roll 2. Before the example, if the goblin wants to attack you, you're like, I've foreseen how this attack goes. The goblin rolls a 2. Here's one of the 2s I rolled when I woke up today.
Got you. Okay.
So I think it has to be before the dice is rolled. Otherwise, that's too powerful. If the DM rolls a crit against you, you can't just go, no, it's a 2.
Yes.
Before the dice roll.
You have to. Yes, that makes a lot more sense.
Still, that's a lot of fun.
It's not called potent, it's called portent. I was checking something in the book. It's all right. It's
autocorrect.
That would make more sense.
Because then level 14.
Yeah, level 14 you get greater portent, where you can roll 3 d20s to use as foresight dice. I love this, and I have seen this used before, and it is great fun. For those of you who know Dimension 20's Fantasy High, one of the characters is a wizard, and she rolls these, and there will be mid-battle, and she'll be like, actually, it's a 2. Like,
I have foreseen what happens there.
Yeah, I use my divination roll, and that gets you a 2. And I'm like, I enjoy this very much.
It's just so good to absolutely just, from a player's perspective, imagine the pride they would have Brendan Lee Monaghan going, actually, you're going to roll like crap this turn. Sorry. No matter what you do, you're going to roll like crap.
Or using it on yourself or an ally and going, actually, they got a critical.
Yeah.
Yeah, I woke up and I rolled a crit 20 to use whenever. So if it's like you're a wizard, you are weak. If anything requires a strength roll, strength athletics to climb this mountain, it's a 20. I skip up the hill.
I've foreseen this. I actually do quite well climbing this rock. Cheers.
I do a quadruple backflip up the mountain.
I like this one. I like this one a lot.
I think personally this is the most fun because you can mess around with the game in its entirety with this. Yeah, and you can change the narrative with this.
Yeah. It's like, 100%. Actually, they don't die.
And I think it still works not knowing what they're going to roll beforehand, because it is a case of it kind of doesn't matter. You're manipulating it anyway to your advantage, whatever that advantage is.
Yes. Yep.
That is epic.
Yes. Cool. Yeah. And a big fuck you to the DM, especially if like you have saved them.
Yeah.
You've taken time to save this roll, be it good or really shit. And
yeah.
But how would you run this? Would it be like, as a DM, as soon as you pick up the dice to roll and a player goes, this is your dice roll? Or could it be, I'm going to attack this person, but as soon as the dice are in their hand, you have to stick with the dice roll? Or...
Well, I've not rolled, so if someone stops me before I roll the actual dice, I personally don't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
I think it would be a bit poor sportsman, like if you're going, but they're in my hand. It's like, but you've not rolled.
Yeah.
The roll is letting them loose. If I'd opened and they'd come out and they go, wait, even if we hadn't seen what it landed on, I'd kind of be like,
I've already let go of the dice, man.
Rolled.
Yeah.
Like they're rolling, whether you've seen what it's landed on yet or not.
Hard agree.
Yeah.
Because imagine the DM picking up the dice and then going, okay, I'll just put this back down then. Okay, sure. Yeah. I won't have any fun this turn. Okay.
To me, that's fine. Like, I think you'd probably just set a rule with your person to say, this is when you can do it. In terms of, if they're in my hand and I'm about to roll, you can still do it.
Yeah.
If I have let go and they are rolling, whether it has landed on a number or not, and you go, but wait, I'd be like, I've already rolled.
Just rolling in midair, Chief.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I think divination's the most fun. For sure.
Oh, yeah.
School of Enchantment. You have honed your ability to magically I misread that. Anyway.
That's meant to be enchant.
Yeah. I know. Is it enchant or entrance? It was entrance.
Entrance.
Yeah. I was going to put entrance. I was like, that doesn't make sense.
Magically entrance.
That's how I read it and went, oh, he means to enchant, not enter.
Oh, we both misread it. That's fine then. I was yeah. School of Enchantment. You have honed your ability to magically entrance and beguile other people and monsters. Some enchanters are peacemakers. Others are tyrants. Most enchanters lay somewhere in between. This is your Riz wizard. Your Rizzard, if you will.
Your Rizzard?
Your Rizzard.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear.
Oh.
I don't know what I enjoyed more, the song or the fact that after you said your Rizzard, you then backed out of it really quickly and was like,
I said it, I was like, that's when you did you say Rizzard? I was like, yes.
Yes, I
Ignore it.
Yes.
It wasn't as funny as I thought it would be. So the highlights from the School of Enchantment are level 10, split enchantment. When you cast an enchantment spell, you can choose another target. If you cast Charm Person, you can try and charm 2 people, which is useful for approaching the 2 guards at the gate. Enchant both of them. Yes. No one's going to question you. You're just going to be let in. I think it's just really useful.
Pretty sure sleep is an enchantment spell.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
yeah, I think so.
Banter. Okay.
Right. Oh.
Wait, no, sleep. Wait, hang on. Sleep, would that work? Because sleep, you get a number of hit points to dish out. So would that work with this one?
For sleep?
Yeah, you roll like 4d8, don't you? And then you can dish those out between as many people as you like. You can put all the goblins to sleep. So I'm not sure it'll work with this one.
No, because... oh, no. I know there is a spell where you can just... can you just? Instant knockout? Is that something that happens in that spell?
But it is an enchantment spell. You roll 5d8 to the total is how many... This is at level 1. How many hit points of a creature this spell can affect.
How hard they hit the floor when they close their eyes.
So could you do 10d8 and be like, it's doubled? How would you rule that one?
As in... because what you can do is... It's a creature, so you can target one person and hope that the 5d8 covers that one person. Or you can hope that it's high enough to cover multiple.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would just say whatever you rolled has been doubled.
Yeah, I would agree.
And do it that way.
Yeah, because it's an enchantment. It's
Yeah. Or if you have successfully put one person to sleep, you just successfully put one other person to sleep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, it's the same. This would be the same for like Charm Person or Hold Person. No, like there are going to be parts of the spell that won't necessarily make sense in this aspect.
It will be for the rules lawyers.
Yeah, it will be for the DM and the rules lawyers to be like, well, there are 2 people and you can have it affect another person, but it's up to the DM to be like, if it affects another person, we'll double it, or if it affects another person, we'll do this.
Well, Charm Person works as a saving throw.
Yeah.
So if that one person failed, I would just take that fail for the second person.
I was going to say, does it then go over both?
Because if that's telling you can pick another target.
Yeah.
Or do you allow that second person to roll their own saving throw? Just...
Let us know how you'd rule that.
Your thoughts.
Sure. And then, but I think the other highlight from enchantment is level 14, Alter Memories. When you cast an enchantment spell, you can alter the creature's understanding of the situation so it remains unaware that it's been charmed. You can literally change people's whole concept of what's happening. Obviously, to an extent, that are the rules, but I think that is just so cool.
Yeah, and so much better than like some of the spells where it is like Charm Person or is it Friendship, where at the end of it they're gonna know. At the end of it they realise. Whereas with this one,
Charm I think is one. I think Charm is one as well.
Yeah, so they constantly are unaware that you have just absolutely done a magic.
Yeah. Yes. So I think that's very cool. You can manipulate the entire situation and again bugger up the DM's plans. Well, they're gonna know. No, they're not, because we met in the bar and they invited us back to wherever. To the lair.
And this also makes sense on why it says if you're going to pick this school, you might want to consider charisma as your secondary stat, because the spell save DC or a loose number of hours equal to 1 plus your charisma modifier.
Yeah, so if they fail the thing, they're going to lose 1 plus, if you've got +4 in charisma, they're going to lose 5 hours worth of their time, or up until they were hypnotized or whatever. They can't forget the morning, but they can forget up to when they were hypnotized.
So that
any
could be
more, Hattie?
quite fun.
I'm sorry, I tried to be sneaky about it.
It's all right.
I don't know what noticed. Sorry, up to the point where they're hypnotized. I was listening, I promise.
You're good.
That's fine.
So the next one we have is School of Evocation.
Yeah.
This is basically your fighting wizard, where you specialize in attacks, in attack magic, to the point where, as your level 2 feature for this, it's called Sculpt Spells. So you can cast a evocation spell, like Burning Hands, in a room full of your friends, and depending on the level of spell, you get to add an extra person to that, and you can protect that many people, so they can be in the line of fire and take no damage. So Burning Hands at level 1, plus that 1 is 2. So if there are 2 people in front of me, I can save them. Unfortunately, if there's 4 people in front of me, I just get to pick the 2 that I want to save the most. But you are stopping other people from taking damage.
Yes.
Then at level 14...
What we joked about before we started recording while picking out things is you could just fireball, protect everyone in the party, because fireball's like a level 5 spell, isn't it? Is it level 5 spell? 1 plus 5, protect the whole party, just mess up the goblins.
I don't know what fireball is. I want to say fireball is level 3.
Oh no, it is level 3. What'd I get?
Yeah, level 3. So 4 people. So you just hope one person is...
Which could still be the entire party.
Well, level 14, you get Overchannel. This is when you can cast a leveled damaging spell from level 1 to level 5, and they do max damage. The first time you do this, you suffer no effect. However, if you use this effect again before a long rest, you do take 2d12 necrotic damage. So basically, 1 time per long rest, you can cast a spell from level 1 to 5, and it doesn't matter. You don't have to roll. You just go, this is going to be max damage.
Yep. Max damage, level 5 fireball. Bosh.
Yeah. Sound.
Yeah.
But then if you do it again, you start taking necrotic damage. And every time you do this feature again, you add another d12. So if you do level 5 fireball, that's free. Level 5 fireball, 2d12 necrotic damage. If you do it again, max damage fireball, another 3d12 necrotic damage. It goes increases by dice, so it's risky.
You're going to end up self-sabotaging.
Only if you do it, continue to do it before you take a long rest. Once you've done a long rest, you're back to normal.
Got you. It's like levels of exhaustion, but heightened.
Yes.
Got you. The next one is School of Illusion. So you focus on your studies on magic that dazzles the senses, befuddles the mind, and tricks even the wisest of folks. Some illusionists are benign tricksters who use their spells to entertain, and others have more sinister masters of deception. So yeah, at level 10 you get illusory self. Illusory self, thank you.
Was that another sneeze?
No, that was I forgot how to say words. You can create a duplicate of yourself as a reaction to danger. The duplicate can take a hit for you before dissipating. You can only use this feature once until the next short or longer rest. So brilliant. Create another version of you. They take the attack.
Yeah,
stunning.
Done.
And level 14,
illusory.
Thank you. Reality. When you cast an illusory spell, you can make them semi-real, and you can choose one inanimate or non-magical object that's part of the illusion and make it real. For example, you can create an illusion of a bridge over a chasm and make it real long enough for the party to cross over it.
That's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Another thing we could do is, like, if you create an illusory, the enemies are running at you, illusory wall, make it real.
Yeah.
Peg it. Run.
Yeah.
Just block them off. I think this is so interesting, and this is literally up to the creativity of the player to what they want to do.
I want to know I want to know how long is long enough for the party to get over it, because if it's a case of it's there for like a few minutes.
Is it per turn?
If I'm crossing a lake, I'm going to make a boat very quickly and get as far as across we can.
Yeah, so you reach, like, you only have, what is it, 1 minute or a second or something? We're in the middle of the lake and the boat starts to disappear.
We're taking on water, Captain!
But you get what I mean? Like, kind of like imagination is limitless there.
The object remains real for 1 minute.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So you can't cross a lake, you cross a big river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a big
You
lake
get over the
if you
rapids.
want to have a swim, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, the next one.
For all you dark wizards out there, the School of Necromancy. Explore the cosmic forces of life, death, and undeath. You learn to manipulate the energy that animates all living things. Most people see necromancers as menacing. Not all necromancers are evil, but the forces they manipulate are considered taboo by many societies. Yep, I think we all know what a necromancer is.
Does what it says on the tin.
Yeah. I think it starts off with, quite frankly, the coolest ability for a wizard. At level 2, you get Grim Harvest. If ever you kill someone with a spell, you gain back HP back to twice the level of the spell, or 3 times if it's a necromancy spell. So I think Inflict Wounds is necromancy, and I think it starts at level 3 or level 2. But if you kill with that, that's like a 3d10 damage spell. So it can easily take out someone, you get HP back.
It's a level 1 spell.
Is there only level 1 spell?
Yeah.
But how many D10?
Sure. 3d10, because clerics get it as well. Wizards don't get this.
I mean, it was an example of a necromancy spell.
Yeah. But that you nails. But yeah, if wizards were able to use that at level 1, you'd get 3 HP back just for killing someone.
Which is, wizard little squish. So,
hey, you take what you can get when you're a wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's just an easy way. It doesn't have to be a necromancy spell. It has to be a level spell, I do believe. So you can't just firebolt. It has to be a level spell, and you get.
So Burning Hands. I keep saying that so many times. But Burning Hands is level 1, or Thunder Wave. That's 2 HP just for killing someone.
Yes.
Imagine, like you said earlier, you took out 4 goblins with Burning Hands. Get HP back times 4. Every enemy is taken out. That's such a good yes. And then at level 14, you get Command Undead. You can turn undead to join your side, even those created by other wizards and necromancers. The target must be within 60 feet. The creature must make a charisma saving throw against your spell save DC. However, if the creature has an intelligence above 8, they have advantage on the saving throw. And if they have intelligence of 12 or above, then they can repeat that saving throw at the end of each one of their turns. So I think this is a little bit rubbish. Not going to lie.
Okay.
I think it's only 1 target.
Yeah, I do get you.
They do 1 target at level 14. I would want to be Command Undead, but just this one. At level 14, I would want 2 or 3. Because skeletons aren't the biggest, baddest, let's be honest here, on zombies.
Yeah.
But undead doesn't mean it's just going to be a skeleton or a zombie. That could just be anything that is undead.
Yeah, no. You're right, because there is a level 6. It's called Undead Thralls. You can, it says, uses the phrase additional corpse or pile of bones. So if you're classing that and there's an owlbear skeleton just there, control undead.
There you go. A banshee, which is a critical rating of 4, a challenge rating even, is classed as undead.
Holy hell. Okay, maybe, yep.
Also the Sportopus that you put in our
Sport Octopus, the Sport
undead.
Octopus.
So if you have a druid making all of them spore things, you can command them, no?
Do you want a Death Tyrant?
That's like
Always.
a beholder that is deceased.
Oh, bugger that. Oh,
there
that
you
is.
go.
Ugh.
Now it's in
Ooh,
focus.
yeah, that's a melted face beholder.
It is undead.
Okay, I retract my earlier statement. There are some cool monsters you can turn. It's just that then they're going to have advantage on saving throws and whatever if they are high level, which I think is correct. because it shouldn't be that easy. But I think it should be more than one target at level 14, depending on maybe challenge rating.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, no, I get you.
But
then we have then we have transmutation. The School of Transmutation. So you wield the raw stuff of creation and learn to alter both physical forms and mental qualities. Your magic gives you the tools to become a smith on reality's forge. Some transmutators are tinkerers and pranksters. Others pursue magical studies with deadly seriousness, seeking the power of gods to make and destroy worlds.
That's like with the PHB, so it has some expectations here.
Yeah. So we're going to take you straight to level 6, where you get the Transmuter's Stone.
Yes.
You can spend 8 hours to create a stone that holds transmutation power.
Mm-hmm.
You can either use it to give it to another creature. Sorry.
You can either use it
or give it to another creature. The creature who uses the stone can gain one of the pre-selected benefits. So you could get something that's dark vision up to 60 feet. You can increase your speed of 10 feet while encumbered. So that's when you're in heavy armor. You get proficiencies to a con save, resistances to one of the following: acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder. I think that's pretty handy.
Oh, yeah. I think it's absolutely, you can, if you want to spend your long rest making this stone before a big fight and you kind of know what you're walking into,
Yes.
you can prepare for it. Each time the creator creates a new stone, though, the old one, you can't just like bulk make stones.
No, it's one stone at a time.
Yeah.
But yeah, then at level 10, you can add the polymorph spell to your spell book, and you can cast it without expending a spell slot. You can only cast it on yourself, and you can transform into a beast of a CR1, so a challenge rating 1 or lower. But you can only cast polymorph without expending a spell slot once per turn. Now, polymorph is awesome because I did a one-shot and someone polymorphed themselves into a T-Rex.
Yes!
However, the caveat to this is, for this purpose, you can get it for free, but it has to be a challenge rating of 1 or lower. I get it. I mean, you could be a lion at that point, or like a tiger. Like,
really?
Yeah. So, because some things like some bears are challenge rating of a half.
Yeah.
So when you look at druids who start off as a quarter, half, and then I think their total is a 1, unless you pick the moon circle where you get the bonuses to your wild shape.
That's right.
It kind of falls in line with that, so I don't think it's unfair.
I think that's just such a cool little, just like, hey, by the way, guys, I'm also part druid.
Yeah.
Easy. And that, I love that. Okay. But that is the last one from the PHB. You see why we didn't rattle through every single point?
Yeah.
That's just the PHB, baby. We're going on to the expansions now.
Yeah, we've got 5 left to just quickly cover. So strap in and we'll go for it. Do you want to take away Blade Singing?
Can do. Yes, and yes. Blade Singing subclass even, offers the wizard a better capability to be up close in combat. You gain proficiency in light armor, meaning you don't have to spend a spell slot for things like mage armor. And with a one-handed weapon of your choice, bonuses to AC dependent on your intelligence modifier. Bonuses on dexterity checks and constitution saves. An extra attack where you can use a cantrip as one of the spells. The ability to reduce damage equal to 5 times a spell slot you elect to expend. As well as bonuses to melee attacks using your intelligence modifier. So you get to bolster your up close and personal fighting with the things that you already have. Your intelligence, your constitution,
your
dexterity.
This is the equivalent of an Eldritch Knight.
Yes,
that's what I kept an Arcane
Knight. Yeah, you said Arcane Knight. Yeah. But this is an Eldritch Knight thing. That's the bit I love about this. You can do an extra attack, and one of them can be a cantrip. So you can really play with your wizard here.
Yeah. And also, like, I just like the fact that it gives you the capability of when you are up close and personal, you're not totally screwed. Whereas most wizards, you really need to be careful and start thinking about your strategy, because if you're there too long.
Yeah.
I was a fool in my first campaign. I was a wizard who enjoyed getting up close and personal. And I was like, but I got the spells and I have shield and mage armor. And they're like, it's not always going to work, as was proven when I went up against the dragon.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will, do you want to take away the order of scribes?
Yes, can do. I'm not sure if we mentioned this, but these two are from Tasha's Cauldron.
This is Tasha's Cauldron.
Tasha's Cauldron.
You can also find Blade Singing in Sword Coast.
Yes, you can. It appeared first in Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, is that it? But then it got additional features in Tasha's Cauldron, and that's mainly where it's known from. The other one in Tasha's Cauldron is the Order of the Scribes, and unlike other PHB classes, this is the Wizardia Wizard. Usually in the PHB, it's like the first subclass you get is the Rogueia Rogue. This is the expansion, is the Wizardia Wizard. Order of Scribes, you conjure a magical quill that shortens the time of learning and writing new spells. Conjure an external spectral mind from your spellbook that can see and hear up to 300 feet from you and relay to what it sees. You can create scrolls for spells that are already in your spellbook, so you can dish out scrolls to your party. You can get advantage on Arcana checks. You can elect not to take damage by dismissing that spectral mind at the cost of, and this will hurt a wizard, you dismiss the spectral mind and the cost of spells from your spellbook that equal 9 levels. So if you don't want to take mass damage, you have to get rid of that spectral mind and get rid of spells from your spellbook equals a level 9. So 1 level 9 spell or 3 level 3s. So you have to lose spells. This is something I would save for the BBEG.
Yes. Yeah, break glass in case of emergency.
Yeah, it is very much this is a last resort.
I'm going to sacrifice my magic. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is when the warlock does is it the warlock that does the Hail Mary to their deity? Yeah. I will. Yes. Or the cleric. Will.
Divine intervention.
Divine intervention, thank you. I will set fire to this village if you will please help our party out of this mess.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Last stand, Hail Mary. That's a good way of phrasing it. Then there's only one in Xanathar's Guide. Do you want to say that one?
Yeah, sure. So in Xanathar's Guide, we have war magic. So followers of this tradition are known as war mages. They see their magic as both a weapon and armor, a resource superior to any piece of steel. You can gain bonuses to your AC, saving throws, and initiative. You can also deflect attacks and split the damage between 3 other creatures. Pretty handy.
Yeah.
So I would say, how you said Scribes is the Wizardia Wizard.
Yeah.
I would say War Magic is the
Blade Singery Blades.
I was going to say the Evocationist.
Yeah, that's better.
Because the Evocationist is like, I can protect my friends whilst I'm casting powerful battle magic. This is taking it a step further and gone, my AC is boosted. I can help myself in initiatives and saving throws and deflect damage.
Yeah. So I shorthanded this because it appears like everything in there affects AC, saving throws, or initiative. Pretty much everything you get in War Magic. It's all about getting you in the fight and saving your ass. And so you can get in and help other people with your spells.
Yeah.
Now, there are 2 very quick other schools of magic. You will find it in the Explorer's Guide to the Wild Mount. This is the Critical Role book that D&D published. So you have Chronology and Graviturgy. So I'll just very quickly dump these out. So Chronology is focusing on the manipulation of time magic. So using the ramping of anticipatory dunamis energy, that's the type of magic it's called as dunamis or dunamis. These mages can bend the flow of time as adroitly as a skilled musician plays an instrument, lending themselves and their allies an advantage in the blink of an eye. Now, I had a player in a campaign be this and saw this feature used so many times. Chronal Shift.
Oh, yes.
Second level. You can magically exert limited control over the flow of time around a creature, and as a reaction, after you or a creature you can see within 30 feet of you makes an attack roll or an ability check or a saving throw, you can force the creature to re-roll. You can see what it rolls first before you decide to use it.
Oh, fantastic.
So if you're using it in terms of an attack and go, that was not one, Chronal Shift. Beth uses quite a bit.
Yes, she did, yeah. They did.
And yeah, so if a creature attacked you and was successful, Beth would they would just go, no, Chronal Shift, I'm not taking damage this turn. Thank you very much. Well, re-roll it. So they have the chance to be lower.
So it's advantage or disadvantage? Like, ish. Yeah. You get to roll twice, but you don't take the high. That's mad.
Yeah.
But that's level 2, and they used it incredibly well. It was beautiful to witness.
You get this ability twice, and you regain it. Any expended uses when you finish a long rest. So 2 times per, and that's at level 2. But yeah,
so it's like the Foresight dice.
Yes.
The Trelawney Wizard. I can't remember the name. It's the Trelawney Wizard.
Trelawney Divination.
Divination.
Okay. So then you've got Graviturgy. So this is understanding and mastering the forces that draw bodies of matter together or drive them apart. You're messing with gravity. The students of Graviturgy Arcane Tradition learn to further bend and manipulate the violent energy of gravity to their benefit.
I just enjoy the
of their enemies.
Violent energy. Violent.
I'll give you one quick. You get Gravity Well. At level 6, whenever you cast a spell on a creature, you can move the target 5 feet to an unoccupied space of your choice if the target is willing to move. The spell hits it with an attack, or if it fails a saving throw against the spell.
That could be the most fun, actually. That could be the most fun.
The fact that you can basically smack someone and go, you're also going to move.
Yeah.
Which, again, really helps if you end up in melee range. Get them away. Bosh.
Yep.
That's very silly. I enjoy that one.
Okay, I'm going to just throw this one out because it really just caught my attention. Violent Attraction. At level 10, when another creature that you can see within 60 feet of you hits with a weapon attack, you can use your reaction to increase their attack's velocity, causing the attack's target to take an extra 1d10 damage of that weapon's type. So you see your friend charging at an enemy with a sword, and you go, do you know what? I'm just going to increase your speed.
Why is it called Violent Attraction?
Because the blade...
I don't know, but I kind of like that.
Because it's violent, and the blade is attracted to the body.
Yes, that makes perfect sense.
Thank you. Here to break things down. Yeah.
Okay.
That is all the wizard schools.
That is. Quickly,
so many
very
wizard
quickly
schools.
Before we moved on to ranking, favourite wizard school go. Okay.
Pulling back up. There's too many to scroll through.
I mean, I loved Evocation playing it.
Yeah.
They've all got different things. I really enjoyed my Blade Singer when I played them. I would love to play a Graviturgy wizard. And also, quite honestly, I think illusionary magic would be some fun.
Oh, yeah. And like as I played a rogue arcane trickster, who kind of gets a lot of those kind of spells. In fact, he gets wizard spells, doesn't he? I think that would be more catered to my playstyle, to just be messing with people.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't that, then it would definitely be... It would definitely be Trelawney. It would definitely be Divination.
Divination.
Yes, I'm Divination too. Unless
Divination.
Chronomancing.
The chance to change the entire narrative? Yes, please. Let me fuck up some shit here.
Yeah. And I know I'm going to roll really badly. So if I could store those at the beginning of the day, get them out of my system, then just like dish them out.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, there you go. So, we do it every episode.
Yes, we do.
We rank all of these classes. Now, these rankings aren't where we think you should have them. This is just personal preference to us. We all have very different play styles. Will, do you want to go first? Where would this rank in your Big 12?
I think I know it would definitely, because I'm not a smart man. Everyone, no comment on that. This is like an easier sorcerer, so I put this above sorcerer for sure. So I put it above sorcerer because sorcerer, you get the sorcery points to keep count of, and it's more things you gotta.
Yeah.
Wizard, do magic well, sick. So I put it probably top 3. You know. Because I didn't know just how diverse it is. Like I said, D&D Beyond has a School of Evocation, and that's it. After doing the research, holy shit, wizards can be so interesting. It's not just spells. So I think it would be top 3 for me.
I'm surprised in terms of knowing what you like as a player. I'm not sure I agree with easier than a sorcerer.
Yeah, no, just in terms of like reading, preparing, and all of that, it kind of, you have to know an awful lot to be able to play. Obviously, you get it with you when you are
Well, we've just done that.
Yeah, but like
this is my learning.
Teeny tiny pro and con. There's an awful lot here. You have to do an awful lot of reading, or just watch our episode to find out what you want to play. But if this is the magic that really does it for you, then I'm not gonna take that away. You be a wizard, Will.
I think if I'm going to play a magic user, I would like to go to the most iconic. That's also my thinking.
I get that. I get that.
You want to be the Gandalf, you want to be the Dumbledore, we understand.
Oh yes. What are you guys thinking?
So I originally think I wanted to put this at 8, but after sitting here and listening to everything, I have more pros with this than cons, so I'm going to bump it from 8 to, I think, 5. Because I already know what my top 5 are, and I really like this, but there is like carrying around a book, and if that book gets taken away from you, or if your armor gets taken away from you, if things get taken away, you can't do magic, and that upsets me. So 5 is where we are.
That is a good point, actually. There's a lot of the DM could be a real dick and just mess up your wizard.
Yeah. Just be like fireball, but targeted at your little book, or like
Good point.
So 5 for me. Where are you?
So I'm definitely changing, because I remember when I was putting most of this down, and also going episode by episode, just noticing where I was putting things, and I was like, oh, it's somehow not falling in my top 5. And I was like, that surprised me, because like sorcerer is my top and druid is my second.
Yeah.
But like rereading all this, I know why I fell in love with the game.
Okay.
So this has to go at least top 3. So it's in my top 3. It is 3rd.
I noticed when I said top 3, I thought you both pulled a face, and I was like, Em loves magic users.
No.
I was like, was that Hattie pulled a face and you reacted to Hattie?
No, it was when you said top 3. I just didn't see that coming.
No, for you.
I
was like,
just because there's a lot of you have often on this podcast and in person said that you are not one for the studying.
Yeah,
you're Hermione Granger when it's story based, and you are writing the story. But if it is reading the story or reading the like lore behind it, sometimes takes you a bit, which is fine.
It's like I enjoy Bard because of the characteristics of a bard and the fact but when it comes to spells, I'd rather just commit to it, because bard I want to play a bard so I can do the role play, because that's my favorite bit about D&D. If I don't do spells, I want to start the tippy top and learn that.
I get you.
Yeah,
I get you on that.
Really high. So yes, that is Wizard in a nutshell. I hope we covered everything and really helped people find their flow. But yes, that is our episode.
That is. Now, before we say goodbye and do our typical shout outs, there is one thing we need to discuss. As mentioned at the beginning of the episode, Will is now in Bristol, has moved with his fiancée, and big things are moving in their lives. And unfortunately, because of this, will be leaving us. Very sad. But
while Em was doing his tour, it was like, it's cool, we just bulk record that, but I moved cities. I loved this because I get to record with my friends, I get to learn more about my hobby, and It's just the logistics, just straight up the logistics. I'm going to miss this so much.
Yeah. I mean, we've made it very clear. You are welcome back whenever you want.
Yeah.
You know, there's always space for a third. But we will miss you. But also, we totally get it. Like, life is life for all three of us in very different ways. Yeah. And we just sat down and had a conversation. Yeah. And Will just went, I just need to be a bit realistic.
Absolutely.
With moving, with, you know, wedding and other things that you want to do.
Yes. Yeah. It happens. It happens. And it's lovely that we have been able to fit this into our friendship. Yeah. But the friendship's still going to be there. We're not kicking Will out and being like, well, yes, you're gone now.
It's like the Beatles. We got different creative directions now.
We've already created the Instagram account to
take over. So it's fine.
To troll the YouTube.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah.
At Slander Will on Instagram. Yeah.
BBEG with a 3 are trolling me.
But it is. I don't want to say annual. We never discuss if it's annual. But if another Christmas jamboree happens, I'll book time off. I'll just come up for a weekend. I'll come back for that for sure.
Where is that?
Yes.
If there's another Christmas special happen, expect me back on the channel for that.
Yeah, we'll definitely sit down, and because we've discussed little bits about what to do after you were like, I'm gonna go, and we were like, oh, okay, we actually need to have a bit of a plan with what we're gonna do.
Damn it.
We got some ideas, but obviously nothing is set in stone at this moment. So yeah, there's definitely space for that because we enjoyed that. So why not?
Yeah.
And the thing is, we have had so many excellent guests on this series that I know you can call anyone up and our mates will jump on as soon as possible. Even if they are keen D&D players or they've played once or twice, all of our friends will have a good insight. So I don't know what's happening. You guys have your plans, but you can always get a third in.
Very loosely.
I was going to say plans. Plans.
Doodles on paper.
Yeah. You've seen how I DM. Plans are loose. But
Goblin in a cool hat.
But as a final trio that we are, would you please take us out of our final episode?
Sure. We have been the BBEG Podcast, and you can find us on all platforms such as YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Podcast.
Yes.
No longer Google Podcast because apparently that's taken a dive.
It's changing into something else. We don't know what it is yet, but we'll probably be there.
And then for social medias, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, and you can also find us on TikTok. You can email us directly at the BBEG Podcast at gmail.com. Any questions, any queries, anything you just want to talk about, hit us up in our DMs, send us an email. We're here anytime.
And catch us on YouTube so you can see our face.
Yes.
But that's been Wizard.
Yeah.
Thank you so
much.
Thank you so much. BBEG Season 2.
Woo!